2007?
That's crazy.
Bro, Shrek was out first.
Shut the fuck up. Maybe we should just be getting advice from her.
Yeah, I'm about to have Ella come take over my closet. I'm seeing a lot of more kids your age experiencing mental health issues.
Yeah.
Because y'all are living in unprecedented times since you were born. Like,
You guys, this is Bree from the future here, kind of, sort of. I feel the need to re-record this intro because we just wrapped this episode like less than an hour ago. And let me tell you, boy, was I wrong, okay? I know you can probably like make your judgments by the title of this episode or whatever. We're going to be talking to an individual that is Gen Z, born Gen Z, okay? And personally, when I think of Gen Z, I just think of like TikTok sounds, like just stimming TikTok sounds and constantly them rolling off of your tongue and like filming in public and kind of just cringy, for lack of a better word. But boy, was I fucking wrong. The girl that we're bringing onto the podcast episode today, Ella, that you're going to hear from, is extremely woke and extremely emotionally mature. And honestly, we didn't have a bunch of prep going into this conversation. We just let this conversation flow naturally. And I am beyond impressed. So I really hope you guys are excited for this conversation. We did not go the route that I thought that we were going to go, but honestly, I think you guys are going to eat this shit up. So I'm going to roll the intro music and then we'll jump into it.
what's up, internet? Welcome back to Girls vs. World. It's your girl, Casey, checking in. And today we have another guest on our episode. It's my girl. I've known her since she was a itty bitty baby elementary school kid. I've watched her grow into the queen that she is today. And we're here to yap about what it's like growing up 10 years apart and what your world is like. So a little Gen Z versus millennial action coming in hot.
Hell yeah. Welcome to the podcast, Ella.
Hi, guys. I'm very excited.
I'm so excited to have you here because you've been listening to the podcast for like a minute. Do you like the Girls vs. World segment?
Yeah.
Hell
I
yeah.
watch the, IRL versus URL more.
Uh-huh.
But I like Girls vs. World a lot, too.
I do too. I feel like it's like a nice break sometimes to like
Yeah.
not have to get so deep dive and serious.
How are we doing? Do you have any advice? What do you want to see more of?
I like the guest episodes a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like
Hell
they're
yeah.
very, I don't know, it's fun.
So
Yeah.
we brought you on to be a guest today because I think the dynamic of our age gap is insane. And I think it's one that we can talk about because our worlds we are actually 10 years apart.
Yeah, should
So,
we just do
an
everybody's
entire
birth year?
decade.
What year were you born
I'm
in?
97.
Oh, you're only 97. I'm 96. What year about you?
I'm 2007.
Ugh, right? Like, that makes me feel crazy.
Literally, when my brother talks to me and he's like born in like 2001, I'm like, how are we even having a coherent
I feel
conversation?
that about my brother who was 2001 and 2007.
That's crazy.
Bro, Shrek was out first.
Shut the fuck up. Oh my God, that's horrible.
But I've seen you, so let's just get into it. Like, so what was it like for you growing up on the internet?
It was just weird because of the, where I was in the generation. Because I'm not at the beginning and I'm not necessarily at the end either.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was in elementary school, we had, iPad carts. But even that wasn't until, 5th or 6th grade. And it was, you had one cart per classroom or per grade. And it would go around and you would, use an iPad for class. But it was still, majority on paper. And then middle school and high school, we got, school-issued Chromebooks. Mm-hmm. I didn't use mine because it was bad. They don't work very well. But
Yeah.
we would get, I think ours started in 7th grade. No, ours would have been when COVID started. We all had to go pick up Chromebooks, and I think that's why they really started it. Because it's okay, it's COVID, everything is online.
Ain't no fucking way. I can't do anything on my computer.
I can't do anything online.
I can type 15 words a minute on my computer. I fucking suck.
But even just having iPads in a classroom would be so different.
I would be so fucking distracted.
My classrooms were of the time where you had the big cart with the box TV on it, and
Yeah.
everyone got to cheer and get excited when you saw that cart roll in the
fucking
room.
projector that you could barely see.
But here's the thing: our generation saw the transition from the overhead projectors that plugged into the wall
Yes.
to the smart boards.
yeah.
Now every classroom,
I think I
like, does
saw-
every room have a smart board now?
I may have seen
pretty
one
much.
smart
We
board.
have like you guys were that transition. I was a transition of like I remember younger elementary school was like we were doing everything on paper or like going to a computer lab, and then it was also like we had smart boards, but they were like the really early ones that didn't really
Right.
work.
Mm-hmm.
And then now everything is like wireless projectors that go onto like big whiteboards.
Do you guys still get yelled at for having phones in class?
Yeah.
Technically, we're not supposed to have our phones in class at all,
Mm-hmm.
and they have those like. They hang on the wall, and it's like a cub, like a little like shoe rack, but it's for your phones.
Shut
it's
the
like a
fuck
phone
up.
jail. No, it's literally a fucking phone jail that we just have to have in class.
Oh,
And, like you have to
shit.
put your phone on silent or turn it all the way off, and you have to put it in the cubby in like the front of the room. Teachers will kind of just tell you to like put it in your pocket or put it in your bag.
Mhm.
But I have had teachers who have fully enforced that, and it's like, okay, so we're in high school, we're not 12 years old,
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I remember people didn't even want to see phones in the hallways when
Yeah.
we were in school. Like for your grade, for Zach, like for our brother's ages, they could at least have their phones out during the hallways and stuff like that. And that was expected. When we were in school, it was, we don't want to see your phone as soon as you walk through the building. That shit should not come out until the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I remember I was on my phone. If like I definitely got caught with that in school.
Yeah.
And my teachers used to take my phone and hold it hostage in the fucking office and then make my mom come and pick it up at the end of the day.
Did you wear Uggs?
Hell yeah, I wore Uggs.
No, did you ever hide your phone in your Ugg boot?
No, I
You didn't do that? What the
no.
fuck? Do you guys still wear Uggs? Are they cool? So okay, good.
Yeah, it's different
No, 'cause-
styles. So
What's the cool? Are Uggs with yoga pants still a thing?
it depends on the person. So like, my sister can rock an UGG with a yoga pant, no problem. But she also makes everything look good.
Yeah.
Right.
So it really just depends on the person and like your kind of aesthetic.
Uh-huh.
Because when you guys were younger, it was the like higher up ones, right? It was either the
Yes.
high ones or like the mid calves.
Yeah, but now it's the shorty one.
The
Yeah, so
shorties.
it's either the shorty ones or the slippers that are Tasmans.
Oh my god, I still have my Tasman
You
slippers.
do. I always say I want them. I always have wanted a pair of them.
Did I tell you? Wait, I got my Tasmans when I was in like, oh shit, I must have been, I still lived in New Jersey, so this was like over 10 years ago, and finally I was like wearing them, and my whole family, I remember I was at my grandma's house, my whole family was like, oh my god, your slippers are so cute, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, these are the longest pairs of shoes I ever had. I tripped because, like, literally right after I was having that conversation, because the fucking front part of it started peeling off, and I was like, fuck, I have to get a new pair now. They don't make the brown ones anymore, though.
They're like chocolate brown
Yeah.
ones? Yeah, I know. It
It's
sucks.
so fucked up. Those are the ones that I have, so I just put, like,
Yeah.
nail glue, and I was like, fuck it.
I always
And I
wanted
bet
them
they
because
never
once
came unstuck again.
No, they have not.
once I started seeing the younger generation wear them, I was like, I think I want a pair.
Yeah, I got the short ones because I wanted to
want
be
the
cool.
Yeah, I want the shorties now because like the platform
Yes,
shorties is what
have
I
some.
want.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I think it's also crazy because you're talking about like it depends on your aesthetic.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about having
didn't even
an
know that
aesthetic.
fucking
we
word.
didn't know that
We didn't
word.
even know that fucking word
No,
back in the day.
aesthetic was not in our vernacular at all.
No.
It was like, oh, you're rocking that. Oh, like the jocks would rock like sweatpants with the socks pulled over them,
Yes.
very baggy.
Yeah.
The art kids would have their own like little sense of style. There would be the scene kids, like, but it was never established as like an aesthetic.
No, I didn't even
Yeah.
learn that word until I was like
So
20.
like break down the aesthetics for me, because what the fuck is an old world aesthetic?
It's weird to explain because it's like the athletes all wear like leggings with slippers or like stuff like that, or they'll do full Lululemon outfits and like whatever.
And is that
like,
considered preppy?
it's not preppy. It's like you dress like athletic.
Okay.
So it's like, oh, like you're gonna
like
you're gonna
athleisure.
leave
Yeah.
this building and go to a gym or something. I don't know. There is also a more preppy style where it's like kids will wear like buttons up and like a khaki pant to school.
Oof.
That's
So that's like
insane.
our
You're
version
saying
of like
you're going to school in khakis.
That's like the fucking boat boys.
I was just gonna say that's
Exactly.
our version of
Exactly.
Sperry's.
Yes,
like,
Sperry's,
the
yes.
Sperry's with the
So-
Bermuda shorts.
So that like there are some kids who will dress like that, and then also the like alt kids who wear like the black belts with like the
Oh, the studded belts.
Yeah.
They still got them. I love
Hell
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
That makes me so
Yeah.
happy. My 10-year-old niece came up and she pulled out a studded belt and a pair of barrel pants with the chains on them. And
Yes.
she said, Casey, I think I want to go for Scene Queen. I said, pop that
Exactly.
shit, Queen. I know that's right.
Yes.
So, like,
Like,
there's still like I'm sure the kind of aesthetics and the vibes and like the cliques of people are
Yeah.
still the same.
Uh-huh.
It just that there's different like names for it now.
Clean
Okay.
girl aesthetic.
Yeah, clean girl aesthetic.
That's
Yeah.
The fuck is that? Like, did
That's-
you bathe? Is that what it means? Like,
It's like not necessarily like yoga pants, but it's like flare leggings with like either like a t-shirt or like a tank top or like a cute like off the shoulder sweatshirt or something.
Isn't it like dewy makeup and like
Yeah,
just mascara
exactly,
and like
all
yeah, that kind
natural,
of
all natural.
right.
And like they love to do a slick back, which I think is really funny because if you're doing a slick back in your hair,
that
it's
shit
dirty.
is yes.
It's so
Dirty as
It
fuck. That's day
smells.
4, 5, 6.
Mhm.
Yes.
the way the frizz in my head works, I could never do a slick
Oh, girl,
back.
you need a shit ton of gel. That's what it
And
is.
I don't want to do that because
Me
then
too.
my scalp.
Yeah,
like,
no,
my
I
poor
can't
head.
fucking do it. No.
Yeah, the only time I'll do a slick back is in the summer if it's like if I have because I do like catering stuff with food.
Mm-hmm.
The only time I'll ever do a slick back is if it's gonna be like 85 and I know I'm gonna be outside with our smoker,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like I know I'm gonna be outside all day. It's gonna be hot. I'm gonna be in the sun. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be next to a 200-degree huge smoker.
Also,
I
a slick
can't-
back is not as easy as it looks.
No.
Like you think that's a simple shit.
I
you
would
just pull it
be
as tight as
so
possible.
pissed trying. I would
No,
get
it's
so
terrible.
frazzled.
I get
doing a slick-
overstimulated as
And
fuck.
I can barely do it.
Yeah.
So it's
Because one shark fin here, a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of frizz here. I'm brushing my hair a million times.
Just the
I'm
amount of-
throwing brushes.
The amount of product that you even have to use to do a slick back would make me like crash the fuck out
Yeah.
for real. Like, cause I can barely even get myself to do like deep conditioning treatment on my hair when I'm not in the shower. Like, I'm
Yeah.
like, I fucking can't do this. It's too much. Wait. I don't even know how the fuck you guys know each other.
Oh.
Oh, right.
we need to explain
right,
the
right.
age gap.
Okay. My brother was born in 2001
Okay.
for your years.
So is mine.
So was mine. Hell yeah, we all have something in common.
So I'd say maybe when Liam and Zach were like sophomores, I guess. They met and started going to like they went to school together, but they started kind of hanging out.
So both of your brothers were hanging
Yes.
out. Okay, got it.
Our
Uh-huh.
brothers are friends.
So they became friends and they got really close. And it was like, oh, I'm seeing Zach, who's her brother, every single day because he's hanging out with Liam, my brother. I remember I was at home and I heard this like super loud cackle from downstairs because my old room was like 3rd floor, but it was just like there's no door, so it just is like I can hear all the way down to the 1st floor really clearly. She was sitting in our kitchen on a spinny stool, spinning around in a circle,
Stimming.
so bad.
Not
And-
spitting, but stimming.
Literally. I remember walking downstairs into my kitchen and seeing Casey, and then I remember looking at her phone, and she had one of those phone cases with the wallets on the back that also had one of those like little holders for a jewel. And I looked at it, and then I looked at her, and then I looked at it again, and I said, "Oh my fucking god, she's so cool."
That
Hitch
is
vape
so
in
Casey
silence.
coded.
I definitely
much
had
cooler
a
than I'll
vape
ever
case
be.
on my phone.
Oh my god,
My
that's funny.
juju
as
was
shit.
strapped to me at all times.
But I was like, "Oh my god, she's so cool! Like I need to be her best friend right now."
Yeah.
I'm 10.
And we've been inseparable ever since.
Exactly.
That's so funny. That's cool.
I've been seeing her grow ever since. I think, though, your family is my favorite family in this world. Like,
Why?
to
Thanks.
understand the dynamics, because they're not a traditional family. They're very much a fuck around and find out family like mine was.
We love those.
But they're just so free spirited and transparent. The way your mom talks is therapeutic. I could listen to your mom talk all fucking day and it feels like a warm hug. But being in your household, how free and open everyone was, it just felt so safe being in your house all of the time. It
Yeah.
always has felt like a place that anyone can just come in
And it
and
has
make
been.
themselves at home.
Yeah.
Like, I've spent Thanksgivings with their family at their house. Like, her parents are like my goal of a relationship. Like, it's just a very great fucking family to be a part of. And like, our families have now immersed where like my mom is really tight with her parents. And
Oh, cute.
we all know
Yeah.
like extended friends from the community, like their family, best family friends is my tattoo artist.
Oh, hell
So, like,
yeah. That's cool.
it's just, I've seen her siblings all graduate, gone to graduation parties,
Yeah.
and now seeing them go to college. Ella's about to go to the same school that I'm going to. It's like,
That's
ni-
cool.
it's definitely a great thing. Like, it's a very cool thing to see your own siblings grow.
Yeah.
But to see your friends' siblings grow up over time is something that's truly special.
Yeah, it's so true.
So give me the tea about high school. What kind of rowdy shit do y'all get into nowadays?
Context for everything I'm about to say. The like intersection right next to my high school is literally called Bucktown.
Oh, shit.
I'm from like rural Pennsylvania.
Got it.
So it's like
Bring your tractor to school day.
No.
like it's bad. We have pretty big districts. 5 elementary schools in one district. Some kids are super preppy and some kids are like farm kids that are full like hick mode.
Okay.
So it's a lot of weird dynamics in the same place. But like there are kids that drive like big giant lifted diesel trucks to school, and there are a couple kids that drive like brand new Porsches, and like everyone has their own set of opinions and no one ever wants to change them, and no one ever wants to like talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, I feel like we're also in a time where everyone's very opinionated about things
Yeah.
on a social matter. Where like when we were in school, things that were going on in the world that were really divisive and controversial was never spoken about.
Yeah, we didn't know about any of that
We
shit going
didn't
on.
know. We weren't talking about inclusivity. We weren't talking about, you know, what the government is doing.
You know what, though? I think that is because, not that this is URL versus IRL, but since you listen to it anyway, I think that this is like mostly because we didn't have the same like accessibility of the internet as they do. Not that like we didn't have it accessible on our phones, but like it wasn't the
Right.
same fucking internet that we're dealing with now. Like we
Right.
barely had. When did Instagram even come out? 2014 or 13 or something like that? I didn't
I
download it
was-
till I was a senior.
I had it, I think I was a junior in high school.
So that tracks then because
Yeah.
you were a junior when I was a senior.
Yeah.
So it was like probably like 2013, 2014-ish when it finally started gaining a little bit of popularity for people to even download it. And it was a fucking photo editing app. It was like more like what the fuck is it? Flickr or whatever the hell it was called back in the day.
yeah.
Yeah, it was more so like that. So like we didn't have the same like access to like people's opinions and like
Right.
constantly
And
being fed information like they are now.
You guys are all so tuned in. It's like I can only imagine being in school in like 2020 when everything was happening with the presidential election, when the uprisings were happening all over the country. Because you can't ignore this stuff. These students are consuming this information on a daily basis. So we have to talk about it.
Yeah.
What were the vibes like in school when all of this was happening? Because especially where you live, it's so rural, but like there's such a demographic like split of some people that are probably very conservative, some people that are probably very right leaning. So, but your teachers probably felt like they had to talk about what was going on in the world.
I don't know. It's like kind of hard to explain, but it was like by the time everything was happening with the election, it was like we had already pretty much been in COVID, right?
Right.
So I just had been at home. So teachers weren't really talking about it. Yeah. COVID was weird, and so was all of the election stuff. It was more so like I would have to listen to like my family get into like not necessarily arguments because we all kind of have the same views, but it was just kind of like big conversations about it.
You know what's crazy though is even like the political like awareness and like the awareness that you guys have of the stuff going on in the world
Yeah.
right now, because the first time I ever remembered any kind of like historical fucking event aside from like 9/11 happening, which is crazy because you weren't even fucking born yet, but like the first political thing that I even remember happening was like
Obama.
Obama becoming president.
Yeah.
And I was in 7th or 8th
Yeah,
grade.
that's the first like thing that was like talked about in
Yeah.
like contentious like ways.
Yeah,
that
but then
we
our
were
schools,
aware of.
yeah, but then our schools shut the fuck up after that, and they said nothing else.
Exactly.
But what's crazy is like none of our classmates and shit had like political opinions.
Yeah,
and
we
like
were
had,
talking
like,
to each other about it.
Yeah.
Like you guys are talking amongst each other as like
I was like, "Woo, black
15
president!"
right, like
that was it though.
and like no, everyone just stayed in their own lane because we were raised in a time where it was like it's inappropriate to talk about these things.
right, we didn't have that kind of access. That's exactly what
But
I'm saying.
imagine like Ella was in 7th grade going to protests with me.
That's
Yeah.
wild. That's fucking crazy.
7th grade, and she was in a world that she knew something was not right, something has to give, and she was able to participate in like political action and advocacy and like
That's insane
what
because that
7th
didn't
grader has that experience.
that did not click in my brain until my mid to late 20s.
Right.
Like,
When I was in college is when I found out about like oppression in the world and
Mhm.
the injustices. Like, how does that go over? Like, does that create turmoil, like, in friend groups because,
Yeah.
like, you guys have to talk about that stuff with each other,
Yeah.
right?
I have lost a lot of friends just over like political differences, but it's very interesting, like, just in general, having to have the conversation of like, oh my God, like, what the fuck is going on
Mhm.
in the world? And it's also like, I would like to be more educated about it than I am, but
Mhm.
like, there's so much going on as far as like trying to finish school and just like, I know it's not an excuse, but
She probably
But
doing
you
better than
deserve to
me.
be a kid. It's like,
Yeah.
damn, I shouldn't have to be dialed into the
That's
fucking news all
exactly-
the
it's
time.
Exactly what the fuck I
And
was
it
and I'm
takes
thinking.
aware
away
of
from
the
me
really-
enjoying my life.
exactly. And I'm aware of the like pressing matters and the really important stuff and like,
Yeah, but those are adult conversations that you're
Yeah.
having.
Adult
Like,
Yeah.
conversations, but
18 years
also
old.
things that could impact you. I mean, the Department of Education going away could impact you going to college.
yeah, me going to
Mhm.
college, also like the career that I want to have,
Right.
Yeah.
everything. There are multiple members of my family that work in schools or like would be directly impacted, and it's like, oh right, so like multiple close family members to me could just like lose their jobs. That's
Right.
insane
Yeah.
because my mom is a behavior analyst, so she works with kids that are typically on the spectrum, but mostly just have some sort of behavioral issue. And my aunt is a special ed teacher,
okay.
so it's like realistically, because the conservatives don't think that's a real thing,
Yeah.
their jobs are going to go first.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very much, it's kind of just a scary thing because it's like, oh, like that's their livelihoods.
Mm-hmm.
And like once I'm in school in the fall, my mom will have 3 kids in college. All of us are just over that threshold of like getting a bunch of financial aid.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we need whatever money we can get. And we're not, like, if that goes away, then it's like, okay, so what am I going to do?
Right.
I can't be in college and working like multiple different jobs at the same time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's just very stressful as far as that goes. And
How
it's
are y'all
also
not
like,
fucking depressed?
That's what I'm
Like,
saying.
tell me about it.
I mean, I feel like it has to have an impact on your mental health.
Well, I
And
have
I'm seeing a lot of more kids your age
Yeah.
experiencing mental health issues.
yeah,
Because y'all are living in unprecedented times since you were
Yeah.
born.
Yeah.
Like,
the technical diagnosis is severe generalized panic disorder. So like when you talk about anxiety, it's
Yeah.
like that, but like times 100.
tenfold, right? Yeah. Mhm.
And like specifically mine was like I didn't go to school for 3.5 months last year because I developed a really severe case of agoraphobia,
Oh,
which is like
shit.
the fear of going
Yeah.
specific places or leaving your house.
Mhm.
So it was like I couldn't leave my house for a while. I had to go through months of really intensive exposure therapy. And it was just like I can't go to school, I can't do anything, I can't like work. I'm just like at home.
Do you think that like a lot of that has to do with like the pandemic being like you
I
were
think
such a
so.
young age and that
Yeah.
was like kind of pivotal probably?
Yeah, I think so. And it also, I think, because I got into some definitely like I would call it fuck shit.
Okay,
would
got
be,
it.
I think maybe like the best way to describe it.
Right.
During COVID,
Uh-huh.
it just, especially like when you're in 7th, 8th grade, that's when you do a lot of your like personal development and you grow a lot. And
Yeah,
you
it's an impressionable
develop
age.
a lot of social skills.
Yes.
So like by the time we actually went back to school full time, which was my freshman year,
Is that big of a fucking gap?
when I went back to school, it was very easy to see, like, it's basically like sink or swim
Mhm.
because so many kids didn't get those social skills that they needed. It's like, okay, we're all 15, 14, 15, whatever,
Mhm.
and you're acting like you're 12.
Yeah.
yeah, because
the
that's
last
where
time
your brain is
Exactly,
still.
because last time any of us were together at school was when we were 11 and 12 and 13 and whatever, when you're in middle school.
Wow.
So it was very, like, that switch was very interesting. And I do think that that played a role in the anxiety stuff. Just because it's like, okay, I'm going from being at home and doing school at home for a year and a half
Mhm.
to being full-time back in school, and it's high school. It definitely was very, like, anxiety provoking.
Mhm.
The fact that you've been able to get the support that you have
Yeah.
in school for your mental health and they've been able to accommodate you in so many different ways just shows how far we've come. Because imagine when we were in school, if someone was just like, I'm too anxious to go to school, like I can't show up, they would be like, get the fuck over it.
Yeah, they'd be like, what the fuck are you even talking
like,
about?
Get your ass to school or
Yeah.
we're gonna hold you truant.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what I
Well,
mean?
there was, like, I was technically, like, I almost went to court about 6 times last year.
Wow.
But, like, we have a really, really amazing truancy, like, caseworker or social worker.
Mm-hmm.
And I also just, like, our school is does a very good job at supporting students, which I'm so grateful for.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. You have a caseworker that was able to surround you with support to make you feel safe enough to come back to school.
Exactly.
We didn't even have caseworkers like
Fuck
that.
no.
If we were like, yeah, I'm experiencing some emotions around this, they'd be like,
Go to the counselor, maybe.
go to the counselor, maybe. Like, talk
Yeah.
to your parents.
guidance
like,
counselor, and then they'll call your fucking mom.
Exactly.
Be like,
Like,
your
there
kid
was
needs some
no,
help.
like, safety in talking to anybody at
Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at least it makes me feel more reassured knowing that our youth has safe outlets in school. And I think me being a social worker, like, that's what one of my goals is to, like, improve the lives of people that are your age, because we didn't have that.
Yeah,
Like,
here's the problem. Department of Education goes away. All of your supports that you have for mental health, the IU that has been putting so many people in positions at school to help kids that are struggling, it'll all be gone.
Yeah.
Right.
Because that funding, like, that's going to be the first thing to go.
Yeah.
Like, even probably before, like, any sort of special education stuff goes, because no one thinks that mental health is a real crisis.
Yeah.
Right.
And it is. Like, I see so many people all the time, and it's not even just like, oh, I'm depressed. It's like, oh, I have severe anxiety, or I have a severe eating disorder and I literally can't function and go to school. There's just so many things that go into it that, like, schools are starting to put supports in place for, and, like, it's gonna be gone. You know, it's just this, like, a really big what the fuck moment whenever I think about it.
Especially when it's
But
things that have impacted you.
But
Yeah.
what's fucking crazy is, like, this is such an adult conversation. Like, the one thing that I feel like Gen Z has above millennials is they are so fucking woke
Right.
from such a young
they will
age.
be the revolution.
But what's crazy is, like,
generation.
yes, absolutely. But what's crazy is, like, also, like, y'all can never stop with the fucking TikTok stems. Also,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, just constantly spewing, like, TikTok sounds and shit
Right.
like
Yeah.
that. That's
Yeah,
so
it's like you're
crazy.
so immature on one hand, but so mature on the other hand
That's
in
what
this
I'm
aspect.
saying.
Like,
Yeah.
because you've never had a chance to be a kid.
Yeah.
Like,
But, like,
that's why
even-
I think it is.
But there's even, like, some 25-year-olds that we would not even be having this conversation that we're having right now.
No, I've always viewed Ella as someone that is more on a peer level to me
Right.
than someone that is younger than me. I've always been able to have adult conversations with her. I think that's largely in part of how you have been raised, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Your family raised you in the best way possible and has set
Yeah.
you up for success.
Yeah.
Because also, I don't think that most children would have been able to get through the struggles that you have gotten through if you hadn't had a parent like Tara. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
God, love her so much.
Because she fucking rode for you.
Mhm. She's written for all of us. Like,
Oh, absolutely.
love a lot of the people at my school as far as supports. My school itself, hey, sucks.
Of course.
Like,
yeah.
we're very fortunate, and, like, we do have a decent amount of funding, but we also just, like, some of our administrators suck and they're terrible people. And, like, my mom has gotten into multiple verbal arguments with a specific administrator at our school, and, like, everyone at the school knows that he's underqualified, and they just won't fire him because he's a middle-aged white man
Yep.
who was an athlete at school.
Holy shit.
I mean, and I think Ella is just like an emotionally mature teenager, but that's most of their generation. They've had no choice but to like
grow the fuck up.
grow the fuck up. But I also think that your generation is going to be the generation that breaks traumatic cycles.
Yeah, I fucking hope
That
so.
really is speaking up and going to make waves in this world. Because our generation is about it. We talk about it.
Yeah.
But then we don't do anything
No,
about
we're a
it.
lot of
You know what I
talk,
mean?
not
Because
walk.
a lot of us are still so heavily influenced by our parents' thinking,
Mm-hmm.
where their generation has had influence from all over the world on the internet, where they're getting access to real-time information.
Mm-hmm.
So even if your parent thinks one way, what you're reading on the internet is going to inform your point of view even more.
Yeah, you get so much more like knowledge, I think, and just understanding than we ever had access to
And
at
I
all.
feel like knowledge is power in
Yeah.
that sense.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
for you guys, yes, while knowing that information may be anxiety inducing, knowing what's going on in the world is anxiety inducing for the regular adult, you
Yeah.
know? But to know that is setting you guys up for better success.
Yeah.
You'll know how to interact with this world in a more mature way. You'll know how to interact with humans in a more effective way. Like, you guys have had to develop interpersonal skills that other generations have not.
Yeah.
And I also think that, like, I don't know, everyone's always like, oh, social media is a bad thing or whatever. But, like, and I agree, there are a lot of things about social media that are terrible, but also we wouldn't know half as much as we know if it weren't for, like, TikTok and Instagram and
Right.
just social media in general. Because it's like all of the major news sites and channels, and like there are people that will just like do like TikTok news where it's like you're finding out all of the important information from like credible people. The internet is a very interesting thing, and I think that because we've all, like, my generation has grown up with the internet so much, it's like we have been able to kind of navigate, obviously, like what's good and what's bad and like what's credible and what's not, but also we just know so much more, and we had to mature younger, you know? And it's like you can't go tell your mom like, oh, I just saw someone literally kill themselves on the internet,
Right.
because then you don't get to have the internet,
Right.
you know?
I feel like also the level of vulnerability that you guys are even like exposed to on the internet, and the vulnerability that people are okay with having on
Right.
the internet now is also insane. And I think that like what I've noticed, or what it seems like I've noticed about Generation Z, is like I feel like you guys will just kind of post whatever the fuck.
Shit
Yeah.
posts. They're shit posters.
Well, they're shit posters, but you guys are also like not really afraid to post anything either,
No.
because some of these stories that I hear from like kids in Gen Z, not even kids anymore. Jesus Christ, you're a fucking adult. But like, you know what I mean? Like even just some of that shit, I'm like, God damn! Like I had
Right.
never. I think the first person that I ever saw cry on camera was probably Gen Z.
Yeah.
Which
that
I
is
was like-
something that we don't do.
And like what's wild too is I think that like for me growing up, I was on the internet I think kind of early because I was on YouTube like right when YouTube started.
Right.
And I was like posting videos on YouTube, and I remember my parents were like, do not film in your bedroom because there's so many like creepy
Giveaways.
old men
Right.
and blah 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 whatever. We don't want them seeing the inside of your bedroom and like, you know, fantasizing and blah 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 about that kind of thing. And like now I'm like, it was actually safer for me to be filming in my bedroom than in my
Right.
backyard, because you can actually
Now you
figure
can
out
see
where
my
I
backyard
lived.
and see where I am.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Now you can see exactly where I live and what my house looks like and all that kind of shit.
You know what I
It's
think?
wild.
It's like, I think that is wild
Yeah.
in any sense, because people do that all the time.
Yeah,
And
Google reverse search.
Yeah. But what I think is interesting is that now Gen Z, when we were growing up, being a social media influencer was not a career path.
I still think that's insane. As a Gen Z,
But
I
it
can
is
say
a
that's
valid
fucking
career
crazy.
path for your
Yeah.
generation to take.
Yeah.
It's such an easier way for your generation to make money than going to fucking college when you're not going to find a job afterwards. You know you're going to have student debt, and you have this fucking phone. You're cool amongst your friends. Hey, I might be able to make some money off this. Like, the fact that your guys' generation has really kind of started that whole thing of like, that was never an option of like a career path.
And you know what? Actually, piggybacking off of that, I'm going to ask a question. Do you think that you guys' confidence is better or worse because of the internet? Because to me, and the reason that I even asked that question, or why it came to mind, is because I've been into filmmaking since I was like 12 years old. And I remember asking people to be in my videos was like such a vulnerable thing. And like I had to like think about the right person and like wonder what their response was going to be. And like my dad was in 90% of my videos because I couldn't get anybody else to fucking do it because nobody understood what I was doing.
Yeah.
Versus now, like it's like so casual, it feels like, for people to just be like, jump in my TikTok, versus like before, like even people from our generation, you're like, oh no, I'm not confident on camera. I'll never come on like an on-camera podcast.
I will never record myself talking to my Instagram.
I know you
story.
did say
No.
that.
I will
yeah.
never do that.
I don't think I could do that either, which is, I think that it's a very much like a 50-50
Mhm.
because on one hand, it's like you're consuming all of this media and it's like the ideal body type or like the ideal fashion or style or whatever.
Mhm.
So then you're kind of like, if you don't match that exactly, then your confidence in yourself goes down because it's like, I don't look like that, or I don't talk like that, or I don't like whatever.
But you guys also get the body positivity stuff versus we were
exactly.
looking at magazines
So
and
it's
shit.
Right.
like it's both.
Yeah.
Because you're getting the body positivity, but you're also getting the like you should look like this or like
Right.
whatever. So in some aspects, I would say it's definitely boosting confidence,
Mhm.
but it's also dragging it down so far because like you're either getting something good that's gonna help you, or you're getting something that's gonna like just like fuck you up pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
There's no middle ground.
Not really.
Ella, is there any other lasting impressions or advice that you could give your fellow Gen Zers?
Don't be stupid. Like that's
Hell
pretty much
yeah.
it. Like just don't be an idiot because
Yeah.
there are so many people who will post things online or like just say stupid stuff that they hear other people say. It's like you're an idiot. So sorry, you're dumb.
Yeah.
Also, educate yourselves because I know like everyone is more educated, but
Yeah.
some people are still just so ignorant to so many problems, and it's so annoying.
Yeah.
So
And if there's one thing that you would want people to understand about you, what would that be?
there's more to us than like meets the eye,
Mm.
pretty much. Like everyone's always more deep than they present themselves, and there's always something going on behind the scenes.
You made that very clear today.
That
That's
is
for
very
fucking
clear.
sure.
There is so much more to Gen Z than what we think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Actually, wait, should we do a banter box since
Yes,
it's Girls
should
First
we?
World? Okay, do you know, are you a millennial or Gen Z?
I'm on the cusp.
Yeah, you're a zillennial technically.
Yeah.
I think I'm more of like a millennial
You're
than you
like
are.
the last year of millennial. I'm like
Yes.
the cusp in between the millennial and Gen Z.
Yes. What do you think your most like zillennial thing about you is?
I would say it's like the high rise jeans. I think my generation was like high rise jeans, and the generation before me was low rise.
Mhm.
I will never wear a low rise fucking jean in my life.
Yeah, I feel like also millennials dealt with like the boyfriend jean and like the like baggy like cargo pants and like
Right.
stuff like that. I feel like that's probably the most millennial thing about me.
Yeah,
is
like
because I can't.
very much subscribe to that kind of style.
That and also Converse for me too.
Really, I'm a Vans girly
I
over
fucking
Converse.
can't
Too.
stand Vans. Oh
I
my
was
god.
Very much come from a Vans family.
You have a Vans family.
My feet just don't agree with Vans. I don't know what it is.
Ours was very much like my dad grew up like skateboarding. So
Yeah.
it was very much we were a Vans family, and if you didn't want to wear them, then like
You're a loser.
you're out of luck. So sorry.
Yeah, like I don't know what else we're gonna buy you. Like,
Yeah.
So what do you think the most Gen Z thing about you is?
Honestly, I think it's like my nails.
Oh.
Because it's a very Gen Z thing to do like the gel X kind of style. And also just like I always have them done.
Yeah, your nails
I
are
can't-
fucking crazy,
and
girl.
Ella does her own
my
nails,
own.
y'all.
That's
Ella
crazy.
down with a Manny.
You should have seen my nail tech, like literally sweating bullets when I showed her what I wanted, and it's this.
And it's cat eye. It's so
That's not-
simple.
That's the easiest thing ever.
Yeah, she was like, "How do you think they did that?" I was like, "Girl, I don't fucking know. I'm asking you. What do you mean?" Yeah, that's
So
crazy.
do you think that a lot, like the standard is, like all the girls your age are
I mean, pretty much.
nails done all the time?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like if you some girls are just like always go natural, but it's pretty much if you have your nails done, they're done, and there's never like sometimes I have them done, sometimes I don't. It's
Okay.
always like no, like you have your nails done, you either get the exact same thing every time or you switch it up a little bit, but there's always nails on.
Got it.
Always nails on.
Yeah.
You know what I think the craziest thing that I think about between our generations, like I've seen you through elementary school, middle school, and now high school. You've looked cool the whole fucking time you've been doing it.
thanks.
Yeah, that's
And when
also a very
I was
Gen Z
growing
thing.
up, I looked so fucking awkward.
Dude,
like
I was
middle
rough.
school me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding? I did like, but also our generation, I feel like didn't look as grown as
Yeah.
Gen Z does. I
fully-
feel
yeah.
your generation is like, I'm like, are y'all of age? Like the questioning, I'm like, I walked around a carnival and I'm sure it was all middle school and teenage kids there. And I'm like, there's no way they look like more adult than I do.
Also, they do really well with like their makeup and shit.
everyone,
And I'm
every
like,
Gen
that's
Z are
a really
slays.
good point to make because I can't do my makeup to save my life. But my sister is 2.5 years older than me,
Yeah.
and she like just walks around Philly with like a full beat on.
I
every
have-
day. And it's, how do you do that? And how do you make it look good?
I don't understand.
Avery makes it
stays.
look good.
She makes it look so good, and it's so annoying because if we are hanging out together,
Yeah.
it'll be like, oh right, so I look horrendous, and I'm in sweatpants that are 3 sizes too big,
Yeah.
and an XL sweatshirt. I haven't washed my hair in 4 days, and you're just walking around like you're so put together all the time. You're
But
in
you
jeans
rock-
and a tank top.
You rock sweatpants and you make it look good. You make it look cute. Gen Z can make that like
Yeah.
comfy, cozy,
Yeah.
like they can pull that off.
Yeah.
I put it on, I look like Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no No, it doesn't work. Like, I look like I clearly don't have my shit together when I wear sweatpants.
Yeah.
I also think that it kind of depends on the style. So like, you don't like low rise stuff. I like it just because it's a lot easier to do like a low rise sweatpant that like goes out really big and then do like a more fitted shirt.
Yeah, because then it makes
And
you
it
look
gives
skinny.
You, it gives you more of a figure, or like sometimes it's just like depending on the style of clothing. So if I'm wearing a sweatshirt with a pair of sweatpants, I would rather it be like you cut the neck off so it's like off the shoulder, so it kind of like balances the bagginess.
Maybe
I
we should
guess.
just be getting advice from her.
Yeah, I'm about to have Ella come take over my closet and like,
I'll give you a full makeover.
yeah, I need a makeover by Ella.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I wear the exact same thing every day.
Is that the new calling for you? Should you like just curate people's closets? Because that I think would be a sick ass job.
I
That
think
would be a sick ass job.
Every single person that I styled would look the exact same. It would be baggy sweatpants, baggy sweatshirts, maybe a couple tank tops, and that would be it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what is it? Your starter kit?
Yeah, maybe if we're lucky, a pair of barrel jeans, but that's it. That's all you get.
I love a good pair of barrel jeans.
Yeah.
Love barrels.
Do we have group chat gossip?
You know group chat gossip, right?
I think so.
All right. My hyperfixation, my gossip. Reese's Puffs recently.
Okay.
I've been on Reese's Puffs every morning.
You
for
still on
breakfast.
that?
It's
We
been
talked
like-
about that like a week ago.
It's been like 2 weeks.
Oh shit.
It's been 2 weeks for sure.
Hell yeah.
Yes. And strawberries. I've been purchasing every strawberry item I can find. Like I have a strawberry hair clip.
Okay.
Just got strawberry earrings.
Cute.
I have a strawberry bandana. There's a straw fairy festival coming up. And
Cute.
I will be fully decorated.
Yes.
And I will be there.
Hell yeah. You know, interesting thing about fruit, I think that either did I tell you I was reading this like glucose goddess book thing? Did I tell
Yes.
you about that one? I need to finish that shit because I'm starting to think that what this bitch is talking about in this book actually makes sense, which is crazy.
You're like, wow.
Because I had a fucking remember the other day I told you that I thought I was like maybe like allergic to blueberries or something because
Right.
my stomach was tearing me the fuck apart.
Right.
First of all, I ate those blueberries at like 10 o'clock at night. Don't do that shit. I ate an orange last night, also at 10 p.m., and I was fucked. I slept with my heating pad. Apparently, when you eat fruit late at night, it like spikes your glucose levels, which will
Okay.
like, that's a huge part of the problem with a lot of people with like undiagnosed stomach issues. And like,
Right.
if you're not like allergic to something or like whatever, apparently the way, like the order that you eat your food and like how you dress the food that you're eating makes a huge fucking difference.
Give me that book when you're done.
Yeah, as soon as I'm done
Maybe
with it,
it'll
I'll
help my stomach problems.
that's what I'm saying. But my group chat gossip this week, I guess, would be teeth whitening. I'm on a weird like teeth whitening
Okay.
shit. I ordered some like whitening strips off TikTok shop, and then I was like, okay, cool, these were good, and it was good for like 3 days. And then I found somebody else the other day. I've been on like a goddess braids, like boho braids kind of kick. I'm getting my
Okay.
hair braided in like 2 weeks.
Yes!
I'm so excited. Hell yeah. But anyways, I've been watching all the girls like teach me how to do that on the internet. But this other girl, she like brushed her teeth with High Smile beforehand. And I was like, the fuck is that? That shit make my teeth white as fuck.
What's High Smile?
It's like it's not a toothpaste replacement. It's like a serum. And it's basically, you know how purple shampoo works? It's purple shampoo, but for your fucking teeth. Which, like, ding, 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 no shit. We know that purple cancels yellow and makes it white. So, like, anyways, yeah. But I used that the other day, too. And I think, obviously, I need to use it consistently. But, like, it was good for, like, a day. And then today I used it again.
Nice.
So, anyways, that's been my weird hyperfixation. What about you?
Okay. Barilla pasta, but the elbows
Okay.
with Kraft sprinkle cheese and so much butter and so much salt. I've been eating it probably every single day for
I love that.
3 weeks.
Oh, shit. You're one of those. I'm one of those, too. I'm not judging.
Love it.
Hell yeah.
And then my other has been every morning before school, I stop at the Dunkin' by the school and I get a medium iced vanilla latte and
Okay.
a glazed chocolate donut. And if I don't do it, I freak out. I have a terrible day.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's just like a placebo now? Or do you think
I
this,
think so. I think it has to be.
it's like part of your routine?
Yeah.
Is
but
it? Do you think that it's like that because you're not doing the same thing at the same time, so your
think
whole
so,
fucking
yeah.
thing is messed
yeah,
up?
the whole day ruined.
It's not the donut. It's the
No.
time.
no, it's
time
it's
frame.
definitely
routine.
yeah.
The routine.
I
I
also just
understand
am
that.
so caffeine dependent that it's like, oh, I didn't go get my coffee this morning. Terrible day.
Crashing out.
I'm gonna be asleep by third period.
Fuck.
like fully dead asleep in class.
That's also crazy because like I don't think I ever fucking had coffee until I was like in college.
Still don't drink
You
coffee.
still don't drink
but-
coffee. You're a little child over there. It's okay. Well, Ella, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having
Thanks,
me.
Mella.
That was the best. Hell yeah.